Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, where last time we made it here to the beautiful town of Stalwart, where it was being attacked by ogres. And we saved them, and we got the rundown on what they want us to do. Basically, they've been hiring expeditions to explore the Battery, which is this old dwarven fortress, which has a legendary forge within it that the people here need in order to make the good steel so that they don't have to leave the town and the town doesn't die. So we're going to help this rural town survive, hopefully. And here we are here in the tavern, which is called the Grief's Rest. I think they call it Grieve. I don't know if I was just mishearing it, and it's not Grief. I don't know, Grief's Rest. And I believe we just slept, yeah, because we're at full health and everything. And I think he wanted us to do something. It's been a few days since I played. Not this one. Did he not want? Yeah. Excuse me. I'm a little tired at the moment, but I want to get an episode recorded so I don't fall far behind again. Yeah, so there is this Orlin, and the innkeeper was being a little prejudiced against him, it felt like. But he wants us to go check on him, basically. Hey. So we're going to do that now since we're here in the inn. There's also a downstairs there. Is there anybody else to talk to in here? A bunch of villagers.
Of course.
What is this? This large piece of stone is adorned with an engraving of a hammer and chisel, though the writing beneath it is too worn away to read. Hello, cook. What's on the menu? We're nearly out of soup stock. Have to start boiling more fish heads. Yep, you need to get on that. It's stealing. Andred. Brightwin. Or Birtwin. Hello. Hey there. Good timing. You can watch me trounce Birtwin. Alcohol and sharp objects. This won't end well. Once, Adrid, you won once. What are you playing? Orland's Head. Andrid grins sheepishly. That's, what they call it, anyhow. Smooth. You pick a target, see? Nose or ears. Nose is worth more, but you've got 2 ears to work with. You get less points the further out from the target you get. So, for the mouth and eyes, no points if you miss. Uh-huh. Fancy game? 3 throws each, and whoever gets the most points by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down 50 pans, if you will. That's a little tasteless. Can you explain the targets again? I'll play. Oh god, they actually have an image of an Orland there. Okay, I think maybe it's a little bit more than prejudice here. Andred pulls a throwing knife from his belt, turning it over in his hands. Wages 50 pans. You in? Let's play. Lovely. I'll go first, just to show you how it's done. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the nose, scoring 10. Very nice. Andrew walks up to retrieve the knife. Your turn. Aim for the ears, aim for the nose. I'll aim for the nose. If he can do it, I can do it. The knife hits the nose, scoring 10. Andrew aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the ear, scoring 7. Your turn. Aim for the nose. Wait, what? Did I click the wrong button? The knife hits the ear, scoring 7. Andrew aims carefully and throws his blade. Hits the ear. No. I said nose last time. Nose. There we go. The knife hits the nose, scoring 10. I'm in the lead, haha. That's 27 for you and 24 for me. Not bad, stranger. Looks like you win this one. And I get 100 coppers. Here's your prize. Guess I ought to get in some practice. Guess so. You want to play Birtwin? Ah, it's our ogre-slaying friend. Have they crowned you Queen of Stalwart yet? Well, they should. My friend doesn't mean to be an ass, ma'am. It just comes naturally. What? I'd want a crown. Let's play Orland's Head. Right. Let's play again. 50. See if there's anything different. Nose. What? He's cheating. Oh no, never mind. Nose. What is going on? I'm gonna hit that nose. Well, I won still. Barely. That was close. Wonder what... I'm guessing it's a dexterity check, but my dexterity should have been good enough to get me the nose every time.
Still can't feel my fingers.
Hello, Feyre.
Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Not really. I came here on purpose. Feyre raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in wire wool, and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taut, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come from the road.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
She takes a drink, and as she tilts her head back, you see a bruise purpling her jaw, and the crimson blood of scraped knuckles. What happened to you?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. And picked up a good haul, too.
She takes a slow swallow of her beer.
So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us.
What found you?
Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
Lagufoth. Okay. She shakes her head, staring at the embers in the fire pit.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
She laughs bitterly. What are you going to do now? At least you made it. You can't mean to leave those relics behind. I'm sorry to hear about your friends. Quit your whining. But at least you made it.
Wish I could say the same for Francesca and Liam. Wish I could have taken her finds with me too. I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
Apprehension creeps into her expression. She stares into her mug, swirling its contents.
But you've got your own expedition to the battery, don't you?
Sure do.
While you're out there, maybe you could look for my goods. Whatever's left of them.
She looks up from her mug, hopeful.
I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
She brushes her nails along the side of her mug as the anxious look returns. Tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Renengild told me that another expedition came through before I arrived. Was that you?
Who?
She looks momentarily confused.
No, that would have been somebody else. We didn't meet with Renengild, or anyone else in town for that matter. We were operating on our own.
She looks into the fire pit, taking another drink. Why are these relics so important to you?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
She scratches the back of her neck. Remind me where I can find your caravan?
What's left of it should be near Durgan's battery. If you stumble across the Lagufoth, you'll know you're close.
Okay. What do you know about Durgan's battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row.
She shrugs.
Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
Alright, goodbye. I'll keep an eye out for them. Travel up the mountain toward Durgan's battery. A good haul. Okay. How do I select everybody again?
Hey.
So let's go talk to the Orlin guy before we leave the tavern. And, see if there's any free freebies in here. Little mint chocolates on the pillow, perhaps. Owena, hello.
Excuse me, was there something you need?
She knits her fingers together and looks intently at the floor. Nope, farewell. Seeing if there's any free stuff in here, As you do whenever you go to a tavern. Aleph. Hello.
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
The Orlan turns and glances past you with a quick, nervous motion. His ears, shredded and scalloped at the edges, are pressed against his skull. Haeferick told me, or sent me to check on you. He thinks you're up to something. Haeferick sent me to check on you. He dislikes Orlan, so of course he thinks you're up to something. Yeah, let's be straight.
He... what? Oh no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why he'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
He leans around you, peering at the doorway. Who are you talking about? You seem pretty nervous about something. Back up and tell me what's going on. You seem pretty nervous about something?
I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I
Ah.
ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Divala's one of the best.
His hands tremble as he picks at his worn tunic. I see. That's terrible. There must be something we can do. I'm so sorry. Can I help? Perhaps we should tell someone. Stalwart wouldn't stand for this. Maybe I'll turn you in. Quit babbling and tell me what you want. I guess he hasn't really stated he needs or wants anything. I kind of forget where we said Classy was from. She wasn't from Red Ceres. I think she was from the Valiant Republics, wasn't she? I don't remember where I said she was from. My God, my memory. I don't really know what it's saying with number 4. Are we like telling Stalwart to turn him in? Or is Stalwart against slavery or not? I imagine they're against slavery? Since I think slavery doesn't... Is slavery legal in the Direwood? I don't know, actually. I don't know the laws of the land. I'm so sorry. Can I help?
I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haelmar.
New Haelmar? That's hardly an improvement. He stops himself, eyes wide. I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party camped west of town.
He worries at ragged shirt sleeves.
It's got to be Divala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
Sure, I'll do it.
Thank you. But be careful. She wouldn't have come alone.
They never do. Oh, and you give me free stuff. Well, I'm definitely going to help you out then.
Hey.
Thanks for the fruit, buddy. Alright, let's go check the cellar. And then we'll go out and start exploring Stalwart a little more. Speed it up. I almost feel like the fast speed should be the base speed. Hello. Ooh. Got some gambling going on.
Ten Pond says she trips them.
You're awful.
Get top lad!
What? Why? An assortment of dusty vintages line these shelves. Many date to before the War of Defiance. Man, he really likes his wine. Jeez, I mean...
Hey.
It's not even funny.
I shall be discreet.
It's not even funny. Okay, let's just... We're gonna have to sleep again before we leave. That's annoying. The hero of the hour, he laughs. Hey, Ferric, send you down here to check on us? We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Who are you? Tane. He raises his mug. Humble fisherman. Though with ogres coming down all the time, well, I'd sooner fish for truth down a bottle for the time being. Don't suppose you know where a woman could find some Finland liquor? Ah, okay. What game are you playing? Dozens. Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pans, 3 wins, and you take the 100. Could explain the rules if you'd like. What are the rules? It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We roll 3 dice each. Get 3 4s, and that's the dozen. Beats all the other rolls. You roll anything else that sums to 12, that's the towers, second best. You roll any other triples, that's a godhammer. That's a godhammer. You get a pair, that's a witnesses. 1, 2, and 3s, the saint. That's the lowest. Any other rolls is talkers. Doesn't amount to anything, so you'll roll the dice again. You get it? I'll play. Tane reaches forward to gather up his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. 50 copper. I'll let you go first since you're new. Tane chuckles. Roll the dice. You cast a die. 2, 2, and 4. Witnesses. Value 4. Tane rolls the dice. 4, 4, and 6. Witness value 6. Ah, my witnesses beats your witnesses. Looks like I win. Tane reaches forward to gather up his dice. Ready? He's cheating, isn't he? Roll the dice. You cast 2, 5, and 6. Talkers. You cast 1, 1, 5. Witness value 5. Witness value 4 from Tane. Damn, your witness beats my witnesses. The round's yours. Alright? So the final round. Even so far. Go on then. Witness 6, not bad. Talkers. Tane grumbles and picks up his dice again. Tane rolls the dice. Witnesses value 1. Haha. Damn, your witnesses beat my witnesses. The round's yours. Tane reaches forward to gather up the dice. I thought it was 3 rounds. Roll, or is it the best of 3? Or the first one to get 3 wins? It must be the first one to get 3 wins. Roll the dice. Talkers. 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 Towers. Value 6. Witnesses value 1. Damn, your towers beat my witnesses. The round is yours. Ha! Well done. The game's yours. Prize 2. Here you are. Don't get too smug now. I'll beat you next time. Alright, that was kind of cool. Too bad I guess we could probably still continue, right? I mean, we've got swollen eye and a wrenched knee. Now we need to sleep again before we leave. We could probably still explore the town first, because it doesn't really matter which one we do first. So we might as well sleep now. Okay.
To warm your hand, Jay. Top quality bear pelt.
Like a room, please. Which room did we get last time? Probably this one, because it's the best one. Waste of time. I tell him about the trap. You could at least put a sign up there or something. My God. Just checking out your wine collection. I guess there's a quest to steal the wine, though, so it is what it is. I wonder if he would have put that trap there if I didn't tell him. What if he put that trap down there because I told him? It's possible. I wanted to check background. Old Valia. Okay. We're from Old Valia.
Hey.
There we go. Alright, let's check out the rest of the town. We know there's a fishery, there's a temple, and there's a mine.
You must have seen some amazing sights on your way north.
Sure. Pirate cities floating in the archipelago. The mountain halls of these northern dwarves. Plenty.
I haven't been further south than the Deerwood myself. Maybe I'll come back after I've convinced the Ranganui and see all those things for myself.
I hope you do.
Yeah, I hope you do too, buddy. Rayfold?
If you weren't gonna fetch the liquor for me, you didn't have to tell Havrick about it. Now he's banned me from the inn altogether.
Yeah, sorry. Figured it'd keep you out of trouble.
Out of trouble? It was only a drink. Now I get to die sober when the ogres come back. Right, fair enough. What do you want?
To rub it in your face, really? That's all. Alright, let's go this way. Because I think we went... I guess we didn't check all this. I think there was a mention of another person's house over here. So that's the way out. Yeah, this person's house. Whew. And they have free stuff. Don't need it, though. Hello. Knock, knock. It's your heroes. Come to say hi. And take any rewards you might want to give me. I mean, it's not mandatory for you to give me a reward. Just, if you don't, there's no guarantee that...
Those nasty brutes finally left.
They have left. But as I was just saying, there's no guarantee that I'll be here when they come back. Unless, you give me something. But you have nothing for free. Terrible. These teeth have been sanded smooth in preparation for carving.
I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad.
The elderly woman kneads her hands. Her knuckles are swollen knobs, and her palms are rigid with calluses that scrape and rasp as she rubs them together. Ugh.
But you're the new adventurer. Renengild's latest volunteer.
She squints at you, leaning precariously forward on her wobbling legs.
A real spitfire, she told me. Bet you'd whip those layabouts at the mine into shape.
Suddenly she cackles. I'd like to ask you some questions, or about something.
Did you say something, dear?
Yes. Tell me about yourself.
Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance.
She taps her head. A spotted dome under a thinning thatch of hair.
Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much afore they finish the job.
She winks. That's all.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Leave. Alright, I'm liking that everything seems to be, besides like the game people, everything seems to be voiced so far in this expansion, which is nice, or DLC, whatever you want to call it. I do like that. Okay. So let's go over here to Thirsk's house. Yep, and then we'll go to the mine, check out this wagon, go up to, oh, that goes to Longwatch Falls. Then we got the temple, Maneha, the fishery, and that's it. Okay, and then we'll decide what we do first. I already looted that. These homes look a lot smaller than I would like them to be if I was living here. Well, I guess if you were living here back in these days, you probably wouldn't be spending a whole lot of time indoors. You'd be outside if the sun's up. So I guess space wouldn't really be a problem. Although it's freezing
Must
here.
Be soon. 2 days, no more.
It's freezing here, so maybe you would be indoors just huddling around a fire sometimes. I don't know. I live in a very warm area, so I don't actually know what that would feel like. This dwarf is busy staring into the fire, slowly puffing away on his pipe. As you greet him, he's visibly startled, and his pipe clatters to the floor.
Sorry. Didn't hear you come in. My ears aren't what they used to be.
He stoops, wincing, to retrieve his pipe. When he rises again, he has a hand against his side. Are you hurt?
Wasn't the ogres, I can tell you that. Put a few arrows in one of those and they generally have the good sense to back off.
I did not have that experience.
But I've been hunting this wolf for near a year now. A man-eater. Cunning, nasty thing. Every time I get close, it just slips away. The beast has already claimed many lives. The first victim was my son, Saldrum.
Thursk looks down at his pipe for a moment, features hardening. Sorry to hear that.
Got the better of me this last time. Distracted me long enough for one of its kin to turn up. Nearly bit me clean in half. I'm a few weeks out from trying again.
He winces. You said this thing is a wolf?
No ordinary wolf. A monster. This creature is big. And I see the signs it leaves behind. The mess it made to the last couple of hunters and the elk. Doesn't always finish its meals. Damn thing might be sick. Might have a bullet in its jaw. Something. In any case, it needs to be put down.
Where is this beast?
It roams the russet wood out to the west. Seems to have decided the lake is a good place to find prey.
It seems like we're discovering a lot of areas.
Yeah. It's picked off some scattered ogres from time to time. But mostly it's been going after hunters. Travelers.
Can you tell me about your previous encounters?
Nothing to tell. Near misses, all of them. One time he clambered right up the cliffs to avoid my snares. Another time, he chased a bear into my camp. I nearly had him once. I could hear him below, eating, and I had the gun aimed right for him until the wind changed.
That's shit luck.
He charged headlong into the tree to get at me. Nearly knocked me off my perch. And when I righted myself, he was gone.
No animal's going to best me. I'll bring it down. I'll keep an eye out for it. I see. I'll keep an eye out for it.
It needs doing. But I warn you, this beast is not to be trifled with. It must make its lair somewhere to the west. If you mean to go there, keep your wits about you.
Will do.
Watch yourself on the mountain. In these lean times, everything looks like prey to something.
Who are you?
I'm Thiersch.
I did not say your name
I've
right.
lived here long enough that Kith have started calling me the Old Hunter. And that's about all I can say for myself.
I have questions.
Coming to your elders for advice, is it? What can I do for you?
Theodore said I should talk to you before I head to Longwatch Falls. Aw, and good thing you did. Hot springs north of the road are crawling with how did they say it? Lagofaith? Those guys. I'm surprised Theodore found himself out there. The thing to know about Lagofaith is they're fast, tolerant to cold too, so try another angle of attack. Something seems to occur to him. He pats his pockets, clenching his pipe between his teeth. These will come in handy. Use them if you get into trouble. He hands you a few sealed bottles. The old hunter looks you up and down, puffing on his pipe. You have gained an item. 2 potions of mirrored images added to inventory. Well, thank you. If I'm being honest, though, I'd say those beasts are still going to be a challenge for you. Ugh. I know you held your own against those ogres, but it might be wise to wait a spell before taking on those Lagofaith. He taps his pipe. He taps his pipe ash into the fire pit. What can you tell me about Stalwart?
Well, I can tell you it won't be here much longer if things go on as they are. With the mines closed, we've lost what put us on the map in the first place. We're losing people every month. Too many mouths to feed and not enough to support them. Even the game's dwindling. I've been lucky. I've hides and horns enough to keep the traders happy, but now the ogres are picking the rest of us off.
What can you tell me about these ogres? Only that they've been coming down in force, again and again, trying to drive us out or kill us outright.
The moment we started looking into Durgan's battery, it was like we'd kicked a hornet's nest. You made a good showing against that last group. Didn't expect you'd be one of the godlike. But then, if anyone was gonna turn up here at the ass end of nowhere to save our hides,
it'd be me. Everyone thinks that we must be the will of the gods. What nonsense. Well, no, I am the will of the gods. What are you talking about? I'm a priest. And I guess paladins aren't religious in this game. So never mind. But I'm a priest. Right? I'm following the will of Magrin. I think. Partly. Kind of. Durance, am I doing it okay? I don't know. Why is the hunting so poor?
It's been a colder season than usual, and the elk herds aren't faring well. We're stuck fighting with the ogre clans and the wolves over what's left. And not to mention the occasional beast. We've lost a lot of young hunters.
Has the legacy struck Stalwart as well?
It has. We had some hope in the early days that we'd be spared, isolated as we are. That hope died in a hurry.
That sucks.
Not everyone's been so unlucky, of course. You'll see a few pampered sprats around.
That's good. Man, why would anybody stay in Direwood if this is going on? I mean, I know, like, I guess it's not that easy to just pick up and move, but, like, if you could, I'd get the hell out of here. Treating them like precious stones won't see them grow up any faster, if at all. The sudden sorrow in his features belies his soft laughter. You must have some interesting hunting stories. I love swapping tales. Anyone have a pipe?
Long hours checking snares and waiting out elk, mostly. Used to hunt some of the big ones. Bear, stelgare. But up here, it comes down to necessity. Which means keeping Stalwart fed, or else keeping it safe. Thing is, the last hunt didn't go so well, as you can see.
That's all the questions I have. Farewell. Alright, hunt down the wolf. Any free stuff? No. These necklaces have been made from teeth and claws of various predators, wolves, bears, and lions. We got thermal peril update. The shaft of each spear is splintered, and broken, each of them held together only by tightly bound leather straps. Alright. Let's keep looking around. Probably going to take up the whole episode looking around. Unless there's not much to see in the other places, which I don't know. Maybe there won't be. But he didn't seem to think we could take on those, I already forgot what they're called. The speedy guys. Hello? Durin? The Orlan bows to you. Ah, the adventurer who saved the village. So good of you to visit my humble wagon. I'm Durin. How's business? He gestures at the village around him. Poor, like this place. Not much coin to be made trading in furs and fish. I came to the White March because I assumed there would be no competition, and I have none, because there's nothing to compete over out here. Would you like to trade? If you're not making any money out here, why do you stay? His eyes lower. I was rather vocal about my inevitable success with my friends and family. If I give up and return with little more than I left, then... His hands ball into fists. No. It won't be like that. I'm not giving up yet. Show me your wares. Exceptional hunting bow, and a raiment of whale's eyes. Spell holding mirrored images and defiance. What does defiance do? Is that all this stuff? This gray cloak is covered in a multitude of stylized eyes, symbols of the god whale. It is said to have been created by the wizard Gorin, who hoped that the pious endeavor might invoke whale's protection. Set against the many eyes of the 100 mysteries, Gorin hoped his enemies would stumble after falsehood, while he would remain resistant to the bewildering effects of the world's mysteries. Those who have come across this cloak since have found much use in its enchantments. What became of Gorin himself is unknown. However, for nothing else remains of the man or his work. A monk outfit. Interesting. I don't know if this is going to be good for anybody. Mirror image isn't bad. I mean, I guess it could be good for you. Let's compare, actually. Aloth's leather armor. So it has better recovery speed. This gives 10% ability area effect, which is pretty decent. Grants mirror image when hit by a critical hit. Okay, so this is... That's kind of cool. Be good for like a battle mage kind of character, which would have been neat to make. Nah, we don't need it though. Nobody I have is going to make use of that. Maybe if I had Durance, it'd probably be really good for Durance actually. The ultimate hat of Alluring Perfection. That sounds good. +2 might, +2 con, -2 intellect, and -2 resolve. His hat was designed by an apprentice wizard who sought to create the perfect magical accessory. He spent weeks binding spells and wards to the material, but when he finished, he felt that it looked rather plain. He wanted to strike an imposing figure for peers and rivals, so he spent a few more days adding embellishments. A crest of feathers behind one ear, a band of silk around the brim. It was an improvement, but it also showed the young wizard how poorly he'd chosen his original color scheme, so he spent a few more days experimenting with other shades in suede, satin, and leather. While the poor young apprentice obsessed over this hat, his peers continued studying spells and hexes. By the time of his first duel, he had assembled a fantastic wardrobe, but forgotten many of his spells. His performance ended his budding career in magic most ignominiously, but he went on to become a successful tailor. That's good. He found his calling. I don't think I'm gonna spend. I don't have that money to spend on it, and I don't think I'd spend it anyway. I guess it could be good for like, well, any tank really. Probably good, or any melee person, perhaps. All right. Rufik's Watchful Cloak, MK2. 2 enemies needed to flank. +2 perception. What does that mean? +2 enemies needed to flank. So you can't be flanked if it requires 2 more enemies for you to be flanked. Okay. And gets perception too. Rufik was a bruiser and a follower of Whale. He was often hired as a courier or bodyguard because of his size and strength. Yet he was a quiet man, and he developed a habit of walking with his head bowed in prayer. Because of this, would-be thieves frequently attempted to waylay him. But Rufik was blessed by the god of secrets. With uncanny foresight, he dodged and parried these sudden attacks and slew his assailants, sewing their eyes into his cloak. Oh my god. He intended it as a warning, but others saw it as a challenge. Eventually, he discarded this cloak and wore a simpler, subtler garment in its place. The sight of a dark cloak with shimmering, shifting eyes became infamous among highwaymen and bandits. That's a cool story. Ryona's Buckle. Tenacity gives +5 accuracy when below 50% endurance, +20 defense against disease poison attacks. I guess we'll read this too. This belt bears the mark of Ryona, a legendary adventurer who traveled Aora in search of wealth and fame. When she was young, she trained at a martial academy in Ozia, where she struggled at first. Many of her fellow students came from wealthy local families, but she was poor and foreign. But she was clever, and she practiced much. One day, her chief rival, the nephew of one of the Duke's Bells, challenged her to a duel. Ryona could not refuse and save face, so she accepted. When they had assembled in the arena, he offered to give her one piece of his armor before the fight began. He meant it as an insult to her skill. But when Ryona asked for his belt, he realized his mistake. He gave her his belt with his sheathed rapier still attached to it, effectively disarming himself. Ryona won the duel by default and kept the belt as a memento. Nice! Gauntlets of Accuracy, +5 accuracy. Do we have gauntlets on everybody? Is that even like a... Does anybody have gauntlets? Nobody has gauntlets, it doesn't look like. How much does this cost? It's not bad. You can get a Tundra Hood. Do we need like cold weather gear? This fur-lined hood is a necessity for staving off frostbite while traveling the frigid environs of the White March. Should we get that? I'll get 1 pair. Why not? It's kind of cool. I guess in reality, we would get all of them, huh? We have 6. They only have 5. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Anything else you got? Camping supplies, lockpicks, pry bar. We used the pry bar, didn't we? Let's buy another one. Yeah. Buy one of those. Still got Wodaka's hood. We'll keep that in case we ever need it. And we'll buy one of these. Yeah. Is there anything in here? Couple things. Yeah, we have all this stuff too. I need to look through. There you go. So gauntlets. Yeah, nobody has gauntlets. I'm gonna buy those gauntlets, I think. Let's see. That's a torque of perception. Let's look in our stash here. So you have the spell word amulet. Spell defense bonus. So that could be decent at times. We do have these. Spider fingers. Grants restore light endurance and +1 perception. I will wear those as the resident healer and everything else. Oh, I do have gloves. Never mind. Those gloves dexterity. We're gonna keep those. You have gloves too. Okay. We'll give these to you. There you go. Everybody else has stuff, right? Yes. Okay. What does this ring do? Grants arcane dampener. once per rest and +1 intellect. Foe AoE, beneficial effects suspended for 15 seconds. Do you have rings? You have 1 ring. I'll give you this one. Increases your intellect. Good. And let's buy those gauntlets. Yep. Trade. There we go. Who did I give this? You. Okay. The accuracy. Who do I want to give it? Who's most important? I think I'm going to give him to you. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Let's keep moving. Let's go check the mines up here, see if there's anything up here. Or if it's just a path to the falls. These smelters haven't seen use in a long time. And I'm thinking, so far at least, the first quest we're going to do in this region is to deal with the ogres. It seems like the most pressing matters to deal with them. I don't know how we're going to approach them yet. I mean, we were diplomatic in a sense. I'll find it without your help. Not giving up, you hear me? Okay. Charlatans, Okay. We've got Akram and Ista. Perhaps if I just adjust this like so. Hello.
Oh, it's working! Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh.
The dwarven woman looks at you, a disappointed expression on her face. In her hands is a large rectangular box, covered in strange dials and symbols. I get that reaction a lot. Expecting someone else? What's working? What's working?
My ore locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit.
Well, I am.
My Animancer contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case.
Maybe I do have a strong soul. What are you looking for? How does that device work? What are you looking for?
I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Pargrin dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype.
She holds up the metallic box.
Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere. I was hoping to test it, but my arrival was delayed by word of the ogre attack. I haven't been able to find anyone to venture up the mountain since.
I'm going up there. I could go up the mountain for you.
Really? That'd be wonderful. I just have to adjust the device, you see.
Her hands move swiftly over the box, adjusting knobs and dials.
It should point you toward metal deposits. We already know the battery rests on some rich veins, but I was hoping to get a reading of the surrounding mountainside. If you can follow the readings to ore and bring back a sample, I can use it to refine the device. Thanks ever so much for this.
She hands you the box. You're very welcome. Now I'm going to go to the merchant and sell this experimental prototype.
I hope you've had some luck. And do take care with that device. It has a few rather delicate components.
All right. Hello, Akron. A dwarf paces with his head down and his arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared dark with grime, and soot falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Put my hands to bloody stumps in this place, and for what? He kicks at a mound of dirt. He kicks at a mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, leave with less. He extends his arms out. Who are you yelling at? Idiots, that's who. And I'm as much to blame for believing them. The dwarf wrinkles his nose, nostrils flaring like a horse. Well, good riddance. Should have never settled here in the first place. Some things you mean to leave behind. Come to find out, you packed them away. But I'm not leaving until I recover what's mine. They can't deny me again, not after this. Akron gestures at the burnt-out building. Those sweet-tongued priests took my heirlooms. Bury the memories of the past, they said. Now I don't have even that. What priests? Only ones here. They occupied the temple some time ago, picking at desperate fools like vultures. Those priests, Andra's dogs, said the goddess would forgive them, or would forgive, that some things are best left to be forgotten. He nods toward the nearby temple. Their leader, Laughter. I believed her words. Another one of them, a gift-bearer, took my medallion. He closes his stocky hand into a fist. And now they won't tell me where it is. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said it was the only way I'd forget. What did you want to forget about? That was a different life. Better days, until... Ockran closes his eyes and shakes his head. Motes of soot fall onto his hunched shoulders. It's my burden to bear, not yours. I thought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priest? The dwarf casts a measuring look at you. He quickly turns his head away and nods. You'd understand its value. My armor, a set finer than I've ever seen, but worthless to an old dwarf. I'd have traded it for the medallion, but fool that I was, I gave them both. Maybe there's something I can do. Not the kind of talk I've grown used to these last few years, I admit. The priests may pretend otherwise, but folk here tend to look only after themselves. I'd be surprised if they return it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings to the goddess in some place where they will be forgotten. Better to find where they drop them, I think. What's Laughter's role in all this? She leads that group of crows. They look over the temple as folks started to leave. Or they took over the temple as the folks started to leave. Came to unburden those that sought to forget their misery here, they say. Tell me about this medallion you want recovered. It belonged to my sister. It was just a pretty trinket to her. To me, the dwarf cast his gaze down. She was the last of my family. At least that still acted like family to me. Goodbye. I don't expect luck to grace me now, but if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. It gives you a vigorous nod. Sure, Ockran, we'll help you out. Loot. Hello.
Huh, that's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
We'll come back to you. Let's check out the temple first. Ooh, it's a nice temple. I like the trees. Andra's Shield Maiden and Andra's Swordman. Got Kexit and Lafta. Okay. Veins course under this woman's pale skin like icy fissures, yet when she speaks, her voice flows warm and soothing. Andra welcomes you into her embrace. Her features soften with compassion. We're here to ease the pain of your past, ready to take your burdens. With a thin smile, she nods. If you let the goddess help, with your hardships, of course. I want to ask you about Ockran's heirloom. Tell me about Andra. Andra's the goddess of redemption, deep like an ocean and gentle as a mother. She's here to relieve her children of their darkest burdens. We came here to aid the villagers to heal the wounds of the past that fester in their souls. I thought Andra was the goddess of loss and mourning, not redemption. The priest crosses her arms and shifts her weight. Common notion. Others may believe so, but the goddess's mysteries are profound. Her true power lies in redeeming your loss and regret. Was there something else you want to talk about? Tell me about the gift bearers. Gift bearers do Andra's most valued work. They carry the material burdens of unfortunate souls into her embrace so that the goddess may help them forget. I heard that worshippers of Bareth visited you recently. Little happens around here that doesn't end in the mouths of the villagers. But we're obliged to assist everyone, regardless of their faith. A group of women came to us, yes. Their leader wanted to know of Durgan's battery. I obliged, and pointed them in its direction. They left us quietly as they arrived. Which didn't make us any less concerned about their true intentions. This place has grown dangerous enough already. I want to ask about Ockran's heirlooms. The dwarf already asked. We gave him the counsel he needed. Slight irritation sharpens her tone. She seems to catch herself, modulating her voice back to a pleasant timbre. And naturally, we'll do what we can for you too. Ask what you will. Ockran wants his medallion back. She brings her hands together and nods. Ah, Ockran. How often we let the shadows of the past become a burden even to others. That medallion, it weighs on Ockran's mind, You're kind to help, but what he really needs is to cast away those memories. Isn't that for him to decide? He's changed his mind. As a priest, you must listen. No right of appeal, then. How convenient. He's lost everything. How can you take away the only thing left from his past? He's changed his mind. As a priest, you must listen. I listened to him. Such dark memories, so much regret. We took on his burdens, for his good and for the good of the village. His belongings, his past, now rest in Andra's realm, to be forgotten so that the wounds of the soul may heal. This is the will of the goddess. Let's suppose Akron has moved on. Tell me where his heirloom is. I wonder what the village's leaders would have to say about this. Her will flows in tides. Maybe Akron still needs the medallion to discover how to forget. Yeah, let's, throw some knowledge at her. For a moment, the priestess scans the floor before her, as if in search for an answer. She nods. You're well versed in the intricacies of our faith. No use in hiding anything from someone like you. There's no need to quarrel over the mysteries of a goddess's will. I'll tell you what you wish to know. Akron's heirloom was taken by Ixley, chosen gift-bearer among us, to be cast away as an offering to Andra. Only he knows where. She pauses and looks at you intently. You could ask him yourself, but he's on a trek through the mountains of Durgan's Battery. If you run into Ixley, tell him he has urgent duties to attend here. Tell me about your gift-bearer. Ixley had business near Durgan's Battery. Those mountains are dangerous. If you insist upon carrying out his requests, this request of Akron's, then that's where I'd search for answers. It's hard to believe that only the gift-bearer knows where Andra's offerings are cast away. Is it? Our goddess frees us from our earthly burdens. It's best if only one of us knows where they are taken, lest we all end up suffering under their weight. Let me ask you something else. Very well. Okay, find the gift-bearer. Look at that, knowledge came out on top. Wait, there was another person in there. You go back and talk to her. Maybe Akron has something to say about that too. I guess we can talk to him right now, real quick.
Right fetching feathers, lass.
As you step outside, the heavy wooden door of the temple slams shut behind you. You hear someone barring it from the other side. It sounds like the priests have engaged in an agitated conversation. You get the sense that they are discussing you, but you're also certain that the door is too thick to eavesdrop through. Although there may be other places nearby where you'd stand a better chance.
Repeat, please, in Addirin. And stand closer so I can grab your neck if you said what I think you did.
That was Isilmir. She likes your feathers.
Thanks, but I'm not interested, Isilmir.
Right, fetching feathers, lass. Yeah, okay. I didn't catch what she had said because I was blabbering. The wooden shutters of the temple's window close tight, muffle a set of voices coming from within the building. You can't quite make sense of the murmur, but cracking a shutter open would likely help. A rusty iron latch holds the window shut. The window shutters closed. With care, you should be able to unfasten it without being noticed. Unfasten the latch. You carefully begin to lift the latch from its metal hook. Halfway there, the rusted iron resists with a screech. You freeze, listening to the voices in hopes the priests didn't hear. The conversation continues, uninterrupted. Pour some oil on the latch. You grab the latch and apply just the right amount of oil, nudging the metal until its rust gives way without a sound. Carefully, you pull the window shutters open enough to let the voices flow through. You hear a man speaking, his tone agitated. You do that? Hope the mountains will do it? What if His sentence cuts as if the man were speaking to all sides of the room. Suppose she tells them instead. What then? You recognize Lafta's voice responding. Why would she? With all those dangers near the battery, our gift-bearer won't delay. I expect the man interrupts her. You always expect. Look where that's taken us. A dying village. Ogres at the walls. Ixley not back yet, and now I have to do this. His voice drops and ceases, muffling what he has to say. After a moment, laughter replies, "Do you think I wanted this? That I could have known in advance?" A pause ensues. It ensues, its tension growing until the priestess's voice cuts it in half. "We can't wait for him. We must fish out the last batch. Quickly. After that, we'll decide." The man responds in a broken voice, barely audible. You only distinguish the last words. "In that rusted wood pond. I'll go." Their exchange seems to end. Cautiously, you step away from the window of Andra's temple. Ah. Okay, so a pond in russet wood. That's where the wolf was, right? I think. Awkward. Nope, we're good. Okay. Alright, so there's a named person here. Let's talk to them.
Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you?
And they've got a portrait. I had completely forgotten about this character. The Amoa wears an assortment of bangles, bands, cuffs, and chains as thick as armor. She watches you with a raised eyebrow and her eyes gleaming with mirth. You mean Durgan's Battery?
No, but I've heard that name a lot around here. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra.
Why are you looking for the Abbey?
I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
Gift bearers usually dispose of tokens in the sea. Why are you going to the Abbey?
Well, you throw some things into the sea and maybe they wash up on shore one day. But you want something really good and forgotten, you take it to the Abbey.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of tokens do you take?
Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget.
So what are you taking to the Abbey now?
The Abbey's all about forgetting. Wouldn't be much forgetting if I told you about it, would there?
Ah, she gives you a sly grin. I see.
I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard of the Abbey, and the ones that have, no one knows where it is. So I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday, in a remote mining village that smells like fish.
I've got business in the region. We could travel together.
You won't regret it. I've got a lovely singing voice.
No doubt.
And the company's welcome.
She winks at Pelagina. Alright, well, we're definitely keeping her with Pelagina. Who are we leaving behind? What is she? She is a barbarian. Oh man, this is tough. Who do we leave behind? We gotta take her with her, right? I mean, she's a DLC companion. She needs to be here for the DLC at least, I'd imagine. We're not gonna take Pelagina out after that little encounter. I'm leaning towards Kana. It's between Kana and Sagani. That's her name, right? Sagani, yeah. But Sagani seems like she would thrive in this sort of environment, right? It's the cold. She's from Nasataki, or whatever it's called, which is sort of a cold place. I think we're gonna leave Kana behind. As much as I like Kana, and I think he's very useful, I'm gonna bring her with me. Yeah, we're gonna take Kana out and put you in. We're gonna do that. It's a little bit of a bummer that they lose so much experience by not being in the party. There we go. And we're going to move you up here. Good. So if we look at... How do we see our formation? What button was it? This one. She'll be right there. Yeah, I might actually move this. Maybe we'll go with something like that. And it's not the best looking formation, but I think it does all right. We could put you in the middle like that. It's a little better. We can actually do something like that. There you go. That looks a little better. I don't know why that matters so much to me, but I like it to look nice. I think that's going to be a good... Actually, we could probably put... Let's go ahead and change this. Can't even remember the button. Change you and you. Put Clessia there.
Hey.
Since a lot of hers have a little bit closer range, even though she's got a gun, which is long range. Alright, let's go check out the fishery. And the music got all creepy. But this is the last place we have to look at before we can end the episode.
Fresh fish, freshly caught.
Okay. Freshly caught fish over there. The episode's actually getting a little bit long. Hopefully we won't get anything too big in here. I don't think we do. Fishery people.
Why are they drying them out?
Back to work, everyone.
These are
No
ready
time
to
for
eat.
dallying.
The tattered net appears to have been set aside for mending. Hello, grinned.
A fine thing you reached us when you did. They would have burned the fishery next, mark my words.
He wraps your hand in a sturdy handshake.
And the last thing this lot needs is another excuse to knock off early.
He raises his voice at this last remark and glowers around the room. The other fisher folk look studiously away and focus on mending nets, gutting fish, and sorting the day's catch. I can't imagine why they'd be in a hurry. He looks as if he's trying not to breathe. Maybe for a soak in the hot springs, or a walk around the lake. She takes a deep breath. Nice place.
Anyway, excuse the mess. If there's something you need, the clerk can get you sorted.
He raises a graying eyebrow at a man sorting various stocks and supplies near the back of the room.
Just watch your step if you've a mind to look around. The floors are slick and none too pleasant to fall on.
I've got some questions.
Been running it 4 decades now. I reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
Seems like a big operation.
It may stink of fish guts, but there's no place more critical to stalwart survival.
He nods, a blush of pride rising above his beard.
Herds come and go, so there's seasons when our catch sustains the village.
He glances around the fishery, bustling with activity and warm with the heat of the cook fire.
But try telling these folk as much. We go home each day covered to the elbows in fish oil and entrails, reeking of our work.
His eyes soften with the gaze of a stern but loving father. Aloth forces a smile. Charming.
Stalwart's shrinking, but it would disappear if we lost the fishers. I drive them hard, but I can't afford to do otherwise.
What do you do here?
Just about everything. I track the day's catches and see that our nets and hooks are in working order.
He crosses his arms over his broad chest, throwing his shoulders back.
My family's been in charge of the fishery since the early days of Stalwart. I know the best spots to find frost dive or an iron-toothed pike, and I make sure we don't overfish the speckleback.
Good. That's all I wanted to know.
Need anything else?
Very well. Responsible fishing. I love it. Okay. Clerk? I wasn't expecting anyone to come by the fishery for a while. Guess that's the proper way to go about it, really. Carry on like it's business as usual. Can I get you anything? Let's see what you have. Oh, yes, of course. Ring of Overseeing. An ivory worm figurine. Ooh. Cool. Can't afford it, but plus 10% ability area effect. Would be good for Aloth. Not gonna buy it though. Okay.
Hey.
These roasting fish provide much of the pungent odor permeating from the fishery. The dead eyes of speckleback, iron-toothed pike, and frost diver fish gaze up at you.
All right, then.
Okay. I think we're almost done exploring the town. Just gotta check to see if there's anything out towards the west directions. Yeah, this way. Plus, it's
You fought for the Deerwood in the Saints' War?
We better grab a couple pints before you get me going on that one.
No complaints here.
plus there's free stuff here. Oh,
Effigy's eyes! It looked at me! Ah!
what? You guys, it's probably just a fish that's still alive. A dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch. Awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards, sift through the fish scraps. Your hand runs up against something round, round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps, but not that of a fish. Pull out the head. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap out from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. Hello? The man who leaps from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth, and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The drooping skin at his flanks and elbows, the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive Zawa. I was not expecting you.
Zawa. He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? Zawa scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
Malkachoa.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zawa blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you real?
A lie? Yes. No. Now that you ask, I'm not so sure. There's no way to be certain. Yes?
Of course. I meant no offense. But I find it is best to ask when Malkachoa is involved.
Who's Malkachoa?
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap.
Oh, I thought it was like a god or something.
It can reveal the true nature of many things.
You have a master, you said? The man traces your inadvertent glances at his scars. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
I still don't understand why you were in that barrel.
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Did he say sanity or vanity?
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
There's a proud glint in his eyes. Hard to argue with that. I hardly notice the smell. It helps to be this beautiful. Ooh. The scars are probably just as effective. I don't know. I don't know.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as she passes, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
The scars are from battle? Zawa glances down at his body.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies.
He points at various patches of crisscrossing scars.
These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
He points to his face.
These were for vanity.
You made those scars?
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
His mouth perks.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
And you have achieved this?
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
He gives a slow, assured nod. Your wounds must have caused you to suffer greatly.
Of course. I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither. But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fist in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us. Their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. Do you often smear yourself with fish?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
He sniffs the air.
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself.
You don't seem like you're from...
Disappointing.
Oh, sorry. You don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Stalwart hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result. I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Zawa's face tilts upward, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length, he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once, they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Let's be on our way. Another companion. I don't remember getting this guy. I remember finding him in that barrel, but I don't remember. Maybe I just never used him as a companion. Granted, you know, I didn't play anything. I didn't finish the DLC, so I didn't play an entire playthrough with these two companions. I don't know why I didn't play him. He seems really cool. He's a monk. Oh, man. I don't know who to get rid of. I think it's got to be Sagani. I mean, I guess we could get rid of Aloth, but I like his banter here. Looking down on everything. Plus, he does a lot for the party. Same. I mean, obviously we can't get rid of Klesia. Can't get rid of our tank. Don't want to get rid of Pelagina because of their interactions. Can't get rid of her because she's the new companion, so it leaves Sagani.
Farewell.
Farewell. Recruit Zawa. I like him. Alright.
Too predictable.
Too predictable indeed. We'll have to look into what he can do and what she can do. But that's going to be the next episode. Before we leave off, I don't know. I was told, and I do remember, that there was the thing where you could change the scaling of the difficulty if you start outpacing everything. Typically, I don't like scaling. I like the idea that, you know, if I do everything, I can get really powerful and I can see that power. However, I don't want the game. I mean, I'm playing on normal and it's already pretty easy, I feel like, for the most part. We went into a couple of tough fights, which is the only reason why I haven't increased difficulty, because I've been enjoying this difficulty at the moment. But, I don't know, because when we go back, we'll probably be bringing Sagani and Kana back into the fold. At least at times. We got to bring Durance back in at some point. I don't know. What do you guys think about the scaling? Do you guys like... I don't know. Just tell me what you guys think, I guess. But until then, hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.